Alright guys, I'm back with another video. So it's gonna be a quick one. Hopefully I could pass this. I'm trying to only going to do 5 minutes of this, but I want to get this point across real quick, okay? Still on vacation. I will be back next weekend. Have my new setup and everything, but June 3rd and all that stuff, I have work and all that stuff, so I could probably after work too, but after June 3rd, I should be back in my regular setup, in which case I could go live again. Currently I'm still on vacation, so sorry about that. Can't go live. So this morning saw a little bit of jump here. We see Jimmy is trading at a very high point. I mean, this is not an all-time high, we know that, but it's been kind of consolidating at the range of 20s, 25, 27 for quite some time. So now we're in the 30s up there, okay? This is very encouraging because I wanted to be cautious in this level, but again, guys, like we could flip this into this level right here. Hold on, let me see if I could. Here we go. This level here into support. If we could flip this level into support, which I think this gap right here kind of supported that, is going to be crazy, right, for the next weekend. Of course, like again, we know that the institution has been accumulating down here for quite some time, and quietly as well, right? We know that in this area here, like from here to here, institution has been accumulating, quietly. We see filings, we see people posting on those, but again, the media doesn't want you to know that, and until it blows up, then they would put it on the news, like, oh, short is covering, so buy now. Again, they always say those things at the later time, okay? But again, that's just something that I observed for this company. All right, let's see. This thing kind of bothering me, but anyway, the point that I want to point out here is that on my Roth, I did trim some on the portion that I'm willing to trade in and out. You guys all know that, and I have a portion in which I'm not going to touch. I have a portion that I will, try to at least win the market, right? Again, that's why you're in the market for, is to see if you could beat the market. But anyway, you know what it is. It's just me subjectively doing this to myself, okay? So don't do what I do what I say. Meaning long-term investing, always going to be a lot less stressful and more beneficial if you pick the right company, obviously. So that is always a caveat. Okay, so there you go. Anyway, so let me get back here, try to finish this video early. So I see this gap here, that's why I'm okay trimming some along the way, but I'm planning to come back at it at this level over here. And again, just as I show you, that level could flip us to support too when this happened. Okay. Now the other bad thing, not bad, I mean, to me, if it's coming down, right, it's not a bad thing, but it might hinder a few people. Gonna be like, this is why GME is a terrible company, right? Because it come back down and then up, went down, right? It doesn't stay there for the people to enjoy, right? So this gap, again, guys, this gap doesn't have to fill right away, but typically gaps do fill eventually. We don't know when, we don't know how long it's gonna be left like that, because back a few months ago there was a gap at around $33, I think. Okay, let me go back. At around $33, you see right here, there's a gap. Hold on, let me go back here. Guys, I'm still on my tablet here, so bear with me. So this gap already filled right there, but you see a few here where I see a tiny gap there, but that might, be invalidated because you see the wig on the other candle there, right? The wig on the previous candle right there, okay? So that's why I'm thinking, okay, perhaps that gap might not be playing out. However, you see a huge gap here, right there. So that is going to be the level in which I'm gonna look out for to come back. Now, so with that, right, you could see that it kind of coincide with the resistance, okay, that we see over here. And so it's not far-fetched to say that if we bounce off of that level, we can still see GME be trading at $30 for quite some time more, right? And again, if institutions are not converting, their shares still, or couldn't convert their shares still, because remember the convertible note, you guys, okay? The convertible note stated that if it's above $38 and some change, right? So let's say 39 for easy math, okay? If they're able to, if Jimmy were to trade above 39 for 20 days straight, okay? I don't know if it's consecutive trading day or above 39 for 20 days, then, the convertible note people can, excuse me, sorry you guys, can then convert into shares, okay? And then on top of that, GME don't need, okay, to pay that convertible note back, okay? That $1.5 billion, it's already been converted into shares. And so technically, they sold that shares at $38 a share, right? If the convertible note holder, instead of waiting for 5 years to get the shares, they could get the share at that moment in time, right? So that's, again, this is why convertible note shouldn't cause that, big dip right after this, right? You see, like the moment the convertible note, got issued, people were freaking out over here, right? And then people who've been in this, like, yeah, this is not normal, okay? One day, spike down, and then boom. It's like, again, that's why you have to be patient enough to realize what you have, to realize that this company is going nowhere, okay? Meaning that it's not going to go bankrupt like these people are telling you, okay? And so that's why people miss out on this particular run, and still to come. I mean, look, it's going back up again. And so understand what you hold, and anytime anyone tells you not to buy, not to sell, not to whatever, don't listen to them, right? For me, I have my own level in which I, amount of shares that I don't want to even touch, because I know how aggressive this company can be in terms of price action, okay? But as far as like the company fundamental, nothing has changed. If anything, it's for the better. And it's been trading undervalued, according to me, okay? That's why I said anything under 60, it's a fair game to me, right? And so anytime people are telling you GME is not worth something, I always like look at the other side of things too, right? Now, with that being said, though, doesn't mean that it's going to vertical up, it can be today, because, people, if Rowan Kitty comes back, right, anything could happen. But also, too, if you were to look at this right there, see that gap right there, the small gap, it can also be filled at some point as well. Now, for that to happen, this gap has to filled, and you know, and be on their way. Uh, but like I said, you know, that gap could take so long to fill too. It might take like another year for this gap to fill at some point, or it just gap up and go, and never return. So yeah, my thought is, hey, there's a lot of price action. There's a lot of volume coming in. A lot of institutional adoption, institutional interest in accumulating this company in terms of shares, right? With the convertible note holder as well, there's incentive to, you know, take the stock higher so that they could convert into share as quickly as possible. You know, whether those are the short institution who, you know, really desperately need the shares, because remember, the convertible note is only it doesn't have any coupons, meaning there's no interest associated with it. But yet, they are willing to give GME $1.5 billion to be able to hold that note. Okay, now one other point that I want to point out here before I end here is that there can be a play where Ryan Cohen's going to dilute again. And again, dilution is not a bad thing, you guys. For the long-term shareholder, you guys, like when you establish a position already, you have nothing to worry about. And if you have like, you know, a longer time span, you have nothing to worry about. Okay, the only people that, you know, are usually getting so mad at Ryan Cohen for dilution are traders, especially call option people, right? You know, but again, depends on who you are, right? If you're short this company, obviously, or biased toward the shorter side, you might thank Ryan Cohen for doing this and thinking that, you know, it's good for the shorters. It's good for them for the short term, yes, but long term, if you have like an open short, meaning like, you know, perpetual short position into this company, yeah, you'll be pressed to think that this company is going to go bankrupt. Nah, it's not going to happen. And so that's why you're going to lose out or have to switch to long at some point. And I think this is the process of happening, of what you're seeing happening right now as we speak. And so, yeah, again, retail has been right about this company for a long time, okay? Unfortunately, only a handful of retail are going to benefit from this, right? Because not many people, retail especially, are very patient. They're not patient at all, okay? They see this flat price, right? They see this boring, you know, consolidation pattern. They're like, oh, it will never gonna happen. Oh, it will never gonna happen. And what happened? Yes, it does happen. So that's why I'm saying, like, when you buy when it's boring, this is the best time to buy. When it's boring like this, trading nothing like this, best time to buy. Okay? And again, retail will hopefully learn more, you know, as time goes on. But I've learned this, you know, already being in the market for quite some time. So it comes with experience for sure. But hey, you know, right now I'm still also learning about everything I could to generate that, you know, income or whatever. But still, you know, the multiple income is much better than, you know, try to scalp off and on the stock here, okay? Because investment should be think of as a long-term thing if you want to kind of generate that type of wealth. But there's no get rich quick. Yes, you could hit it big once perhaps, but if you don't know how to maintain it, right, you're gonna. But anyway, so that's just a different ball game there. Anyway, I was gonna end this video. All right, 15 minutes. I thought it was gonna be 5, so it's overtime. Yeah, I'll be back this weekend actually, going back home, and yeah, I might pop in here and there just to say hi. Yeah, I'll be able to be live again. So yeah, thank you for watching, and be careful. If you have calls or whatever, or thinking about buying more because you think it's gonna go to $100 tomorrow, just be careful. Again, not saying it won't happen. It can, but also I don't think it's gonna, you know, make you a gazillionaire if you do that, because institution can smack it down. Okay, so just know that they have your ordering book, your everything. So if you want to win, you have to be a lot smarter, which is being a long-time shareholder. Don't worry about trading. All right, you guys, I will let you go and post this video.